Hi everyone, thanks for joining this webinar. I'm really hoping that it will be useful to you, at least that's the plan. And as Abby said, raise your hand whenever there's Q&A at the end, ask questions. The goal is really to help you grow your career, right? So any questions you have, definitely don't hesitate to ask. And I'll cover it throughout the presentation or whatever. So yeah, let's get started. I'll start by introducing myself a little bit, just so you know a little bit about me. So of course I'm the CEO of myMarketing, but most importantly, I'm passionate of marketing and business, and I wouldn't be here talking to you today if I didn't love what I do, right? So you'll get to know how I got there throughout my presentation, but they have been pretty huge part of my life. So yeah, definitely marketing and business is something I'm passionate of. And why am I here today? Well, I may just be 24 years old, but I've had the chance to have plenty of experiences that a lot of people my age have not necessarily experienced yet. And I do believe that I accelerated my career growth by a lot through this journey. So I really hope that you guys learn from my mistakes and learn from my experience to grow yours. And yeah, that's why I'm here today. And a few points about me that you can see here is so in the last year I built a six-figure business, managed a dozen people 10 to 20 years older than me, and was in charge of multiple departments. And that was while I was studying at Telfer too. I was a founding team member of a startup that recently got acquired, and I'm pretty experienced in all stages of the company. So from the brainstorming session to launching the product to selling it to corporations. I've been doing consulting for a while for businesses for 8 years now, with hundreds of projects across North America that I've completed. I've also won many awards. One of them was having the highest grade in Telfer Marketing. That was a big achievement for me, but again, the grades don't really matter at the end of the day. It's really what I'm about to explain to you in this presentation. So, and that's just to say, it's not like this. This is just to say that I've lived through many things, and I really think that this can be useful listening to this presentation. And if not, then contact me and we'll find a way to help you. But that's the goal. So I'll start by explaining a little bit what myMarketing is, because I think it's important that you know what I'm doing right now and what we created. So myMarketing is a unique digital marketing agency that provides businesses with a comprehensive, no commitment digital marketing monthly subscription. We're one of the first in Canada to do something like that. So essentially, businesses will purchase a subscription to get a certain amount of hours every month, and then they can use their hours on whatever they want in their digital marketing. So whether it's SEO, pay-per-click advertising, graphic design, whatever it is, we have professionals that can accomplish that, complete those projects for you, and then you'll be able to switch priorities along the month. Like, you don't need to be set on a project to work with us. And that works for many businesses, because traditional agencies, you kind of need to have a project in place and then pay the full amount, or sign a contract for 3 months with them, which a lot of businesses can't really do, especially in the early stages of a company. And then also we save costs, because if you hire someone, save costs for efficient digital marketing, because if you hire someone, they need to be able to do everything, while us, we have a team that can do everything more efficiently. And that's why we've been pretty successful in the last year. So we have clients from 10 employees to 250 employees, so it really varies, and we're looking forward to grow. But yeah, this is pretty much what myMarketing is. If you have other questions, you can ask at the end. So all that to say that getting here was really a journey. I'll go through it, and if there's anything that you want to ask later, just ask. But the goal, again, is really to help you grow your career using my journey and what I've learned through it. So how did I start? At 14 years old, wanted to start a small business by buying and selling products. I was always really passionate about business, and of course, who doesn't want to make money, right? So at 14, you're starting to dream more about being wealthy, having everything you want. So of course, I had to find a way to do it. And even searching on Google, like how to make money online was a possibility. So I had my idea, but no money to do really anything. And to start my business, I knew that the look and feel of the brand was pretty important, or else my product wouldn't really sell. So I knew I had to find like a logo and product images and whatever. I wasn't really a designer at the time, right? I was just a nobody, 14 years old kid. So I started looking through design marketplaces to try and find something like really cheap. But even $5 at the time was so expensive for me, right? Like I'm 14, so $5 is super expensive, and that's even not affordable. So when I was finding talented designers, I was like, okay, I cannot afford this, but I would love to. So anyways, I came across this design marketplace that had very talented designers, and I was really shocked as to how good they were. And I was like, wow, what if my brand had this kind of design? Like, it would sell so much. I really believed in the look and feel of things, but of course couldn't afford it. So I decided to just tell myself to install Photoshop and try to design something. I said, Matt, you can probably do it in a week, like it's a software, whatever. But I was so wrong. But of course I had to kind of continue learning about it because it was too expensive for me to buy designs, and I didn't want to waste my time selling products with bad designs, because I also believed in marketing. So I kind of told myself to learn Photoshop, and start learning design for my own business. So here's the interesting thing as to what I did. I knew myself, and I knew that just by looking at videos I wouldn't remember the next day what to do. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one here with that problem, right? We're going in MS Teams, and people are teaching us things, but we're not really remembering what they taught us like yesterday. So anyways, I had to find a solution for that. My solution is to practice. It's like a math problem, like you practice a lot until you get it. So I knew I had to practice, but also not a fake situation. Like I wanted to practice a real life situation, actual situations, and that would push myself to complete designs and actually learn how to do it and try to complete it like with high quality as much as I can with my shitty designs. So what I did is I posted across many websites that I was making free graphic design, and I told them that I was a beginner wanting to learn, and that you can expect shitty designs for sure, but I am willing to learn and I'm doing it for free. So contact me or fill out this form and I'll do it. So I did that, and I mean, like, I did not receive any requests at first because I was so bad at what I was doing. Listen, like, I was not artistic back then. My mom literally has a drawing of that I made at 4 years old, and used to show all my friends the drawing because, and used to say, this is how Mathew draws right now. So yeah, I was not an arts person at all. So they were pretty shocked when they learned that I was learning graphic design. But anyways, all that to say that I started from nothing, not being good at all at arts, and then I tried becoming a little bit better so that I could have better examples that people could actually benefit from my free stuff. And then I started getting requests, and I did that for 2 years. So 2 years in a row, I did free graphic design for people, until I received 6 or 7 requests per day 2 years later. And each request would take me about an hour or two, so you can imagine how much time it was that I put into this design thing. But yeah, so basically I did that for 2 years, and it was, one of the best decisions that I've probably ever made. And it applies really to everything, right? Like, you want to learn a skill, don't just watch videos or listen to someone speak about it. Actually do it. Like, even if they're fictional cases where you go through websites or you go through social media pages of businesses, and you know, if you see a social media profile that looks bad for a business, you just do it. Like, do fake posts without even asking them. And then after, you can even send them your work for free, just in case they would be interested in using them. If they are, then awesome. Like, let them use it for free, and you'll have something for a portfolio that a business actually used. If they completely ignore you, that's fine. You were just doing it for practice. And then if they choose to hire you or hire, you know, you for a couple of hours a week just to do what you just did for them, because they actually had the budget and they saw that you were like better than them at doing it and whatever, then that's even better, right? It's an opportunity. So I feel that's probably one of the best ways to learn a new skill. Not just, you know, take classes and stuff. I mean, I believe in that, but not that much. That's why at the beginning I said that my grade really didn't matter to me, because it's really about the experience. And I know that it's a struggle for students to get experience, but that's how you get it, right? Like, I was 14 years old and I got experience. You can do it too, where you just go around, you know, you do stuff for free for people, and it is time consuming, but at the end of the day, you acquire skills, gain experience, and you discover also what you like and what you don't like. I didn't know that I was gonna like graphic design, right? Before I started, I sucked at arts, but I did at the end because I tried it. So just try many things and see what you like, what you don't like, and also push yourself to do it. See, the reason also why I chose to do real life, I guess, graphic designs and not just think of scenarios is because I knew myself. And I mean, we're all like that, where if there's a challenge that we can't really overcome, like let's say I would want, like, I don't know, to remove a background on a picture on Photoshop and I don't know how, I'm probably gonna, in my scenario that I'm gonna design, I'm probably gonna make sure that there's no background to remove so that I succeed. But that shouldn't be what you do, right? You need to push yourself and overcome these challenges to get better. And when a client came to me and said, hey, I want this background removed, then at least I'm gonna, you know, search for how to do it and then find a way to do it at the end of the day, right? So it really pushed me in the right direction, I think, and that was the best way that I learned. And I continued doing that for years after. Even now, I do side things all the time after my business. So, and I never stop because I want to acquire new skills. I want to gain more experience. And, you know, there's still so many things in digital marketing that I don't know, that I still want to learn more about. So I keep doing it. And it helps a lot. So anyways, where does marketing come after all this like graphic design story? Well, in 2013, and you guys can still hear me, right? Because sometimes I hear like, Abby, can you say something if you can hear me? Okay, nice. It's just my earbuds. I think sometimes the battery goes in and out. All right. So, anyways, in 2013, when I was starting to receive maybe 6 or 7 requests per day for graphic design, I told myself I was gonna ask for money. I didn't really want to do it for free anymore because it was too much time consuming. So I asked for, you know, I just wanted something, and also reducing the demand because I had other stuff to do. So I asked for $1 or $2 per thing for graphic. It's nothing, but I wanted to sell my services, and just having the satisfaction to sell something I created was good enough for me. And also, like, I would still be able to practice because it was so cheap and people would want it. But little did I know that doing that, I had no demand after, like literally zero for weeks. And I found that very strange because I was receiving like over 180 requests per month, right, on graphic design for free from businesses. And from people around the world, so online. So I found it very strange that people wouldn't want to spend $1 or $2. I was like, am I not good enough to start charging? Like, what's happening? And that's kind of when I saw the power of marketing, because I decided to increase my prices by 20 times. So decided to put it $20 to $40 instead of $1 or $2. Surprising, because I had no sales and I decided to increase the price by that much. And next thing I know, requests are actually coming in. And it turns out that people didn't want to spend the energy and the effort on cheap designs. They thought that $1 designs would be so cheap that they were like, it would be a shitty design anyway at the end, and then they wouldn't be able to use it for their business, and it would be a total waste of time to be with this, like, to spend on this guy, right? So and $1 lost, I guess, on the graphic, which, I mean, it's nothing, but it's really about time and effort. So yeah, I just started selling way more with $20 and $40 graphics than $1 or $2, which is really strange to me. But that's how you know that marketing is so powerful, right? It's how you establish your brand, how you want people to see your brand, help them discover your product, and then retaining your customers after. That's basically what marketing is. And without a good marketing strategy, what I realized is that it's extremely difficult for a business to be successful. And that's kind of why I went into marketing, because it was so important for business. And as an aspiring entrepreneur, I guess I always wanted to own a business at the end of the day. I thought marketing was the best way to get there, because it was so important. When you look at businesses right now, if the CEO steps down, CMOs and COOs are next on the list. Most likely CMOs, chief marketing officers, COOs, chief operating officers, because they know the company ins and out, and they know the product, they know the audience, they know everything about the company. So that's usually the next in line. There's a reason for that. So yeah, that's why I chose marketing. And I tried a lot of things, like a lot, and I failed probably 90% of the time. But I'm so glad I did them. I learned so much through them. I'll tell you one of them, and maybe that will encourage you to kind of try things on your own too. But I decided to do drop shipping in 11th grade. And drop shipping is just basically you buy something very cheap online from usually like a Chinese company or whatever, and then when someone buys your product, that product you sell for higher, so then you make a profit margin on that. So I wanted to try that, and there's a lot of hype around it, because you see those ads all the time where like there's one person beside his Mercedes or whatever telling you that if you subscribe to their course for $49 you'll be able to be rich the next day with drop shipping. That's pretty much the ads that you get on YouTube and stuff when you do marketing and business. But yeah, so I tried that, and I knew that I had an advantage by being, better in design and marketing than most people trying that out. And I researched a ton. How to get Instagram influencers, how to build up reviews on eBay, how to find the right products, everything. So you see, like, right away, right now, you can say that just by trying this, I learned so much along the way just to try and make it successful. Like how to get Instagram influencers. You wouldn't really learn that from another place like school, right? They don't teach you that. But I literally watched every video on YouTube on how to get influencers and how much do I pay, how many posts, whatever, everything to try and make this successful. So I learned a lot. And it took me a lot of time also to find the right product. Usually a lot of people that try drop shipping, they give up after a few days or a few weeks, because they realize that it's much harder than it actually looks like to find the right product, because dropshipping really works well, but with the right product, and you need to find it. and see, like, I purchased Facebook ads after Facebook ads with different products that did not work at all, and I just lost money. And you need to kind of accept that sometimes to learn. I was able to go in interviews and say, hey, I know how to do Facebook ads, right? Because I actually had experience with it on my own. I didn't do it at a company, but I was able to do Facebook ads just because I learned so much from it on videos and whatever, and I actually did it on my own, even if it's like $5, right? At least you have experience with that platform. So anyways, I did that. And then one day I didn't really give up until when I head into something, I need to complete it, I guess. So I didn't really give up, and I found the right product at one point. I partnered with a reseller, not a reseller, sorry, I was the reseller. I partnered with a software company, and I sold it on eBay, and I wasn't the only one doing this. Like, there were a ton of people doing it, but I was confident that all my research and marketing and all my free designs would pay off, because I would be able to have, better images than them, better customer service than them, just better marketing and brand in general. So yeah, I put that out. I did everything that I learned in the last few months, and then when you create a new account on eBay, you have a limit. You have a limit of like 10 items for the next 3 months that you can sell, and then after that you have $1,000. It's 10 products or $1,000. Sorry, I don't know if they changed it. That was like literally 8 years ago, but that was it back then. And when I sold my product online, in 2 days I had sold my 10 products limit. And they just do that for, to handle their risk. Like, they don't want a new account to sell a lot of products in case that account is not, like, could be a big risk to them. So I hit my limit in 2 days. So I knew I had the right product. Other products I tried, it took months to sell one. So yeah, I knew I had the right product, but I was like, am I gonna really wait 2 months and 28 days to sell another 20 products and hit my limit again? That is just, yeah, that's not happening. So I didn't give up. I called eBay. I said, look, eBay, you're making money if I make money. So increase my limit, and you will make more money in fees. It makes no sense to restrict someone like me who wants to sell more products and that actually delivers. So just increase my limit. And next thing I know, they increased it to $100,000. A new account, literally created 2 days ago. So moral of the story, you should never give up and try things like that. But yeah, anyways, I started selling more products, became top rated eBay seller in 11 days. I was selling a lot of products, but at one point, another rep of eBay saw that my account was new of 10 days and was selling like that, and kind of got scared, so restricted my account from selling. And then I called, and then they have this policy that if someone makes a decision, it's kind of over with. Like, I don't even have time to explain my story. They just, close the request because someone made a decision. So I couldn't get back to it on that specific eBay account with that specific product. But moral of the story, I learned so much from it, and I knew that I was getting good at marketing and branding. So that's where my energy kind of shifted after. I didn't really want to go through that whole process again of dropshipping, with finding the right products and whatever. I knew it was just, it was not something I really wanted to do. Plus, it was taking so much of my time, and I didn't really, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't what I was passionate about. And I was literally in math class in 11th grade, like, answering my customer service requests and stuff. I was not a fan of it, but I did because I believed in good brands. But yeah, anyways, it's all that to say that you should never stop from doing something because you've never done it before. You should definitely do it and get experience from it. If you fail, that's fine. I failed so many times. That was just one story of literally like 25 businesses that I tried starting of like varied of things. And yeah, I never stopped doing these things. I still do consulting on the side, even with my business. Obviously, like, it's for different things because I've improved over time, but it always allows me to expand my skills and my experience, which is really good. And nowadays, it's really easy to get that kind of experience with internet. Like, you can literally go on the web and find, something to do and acquire new skills, or watch a video and then actually apply it after. So it's pretty easy to do that, and also make extra money on the side after you've acquired those skills, because you're better than a lot of people, and you need to also have the confidence to say that you're better than them. And that's also something that I learned along the way, is I had absolutely no confidence before, and I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, it took me a long time to actually be confident in what I do in terms of marketing. And I know that it's like that for a lot of students, because they see these professionals, working in the marketing field, and they're like, oh, I'm not as good as them. That's not true, because a lot of people, actually everyone, doesn't really know what they're doing. When they start knowing what they're doing, they're moving up in the company, right? And they're doing other things. So, and it's always new. So you never stop doing things that you've never done before. And it's really like, I've never done what I'm doing right now, and I'm not going to be doing the same thing in a year or two or whatever. I'm just going to be doing something else, right? Doing other tasks. So, and it's always going to be something new. So you should never be scared of having the confidence to like sell your services or do consulting for some businesses outside of that, right? And it helps a lot. So anyways, let's talk about the workplace now, and we'll come back to that. So when I was at Telfer, I chose to participate in a co-op program, and I knew I wanted some experience at the same time as school. That's why I did it. And I strongly recommend that you also try to get relevant experience during your school, even if it's part-time. It just really helps, as I said, the experience. And I joined this company. It was a therapy clinic. I was really the only one doing marketing there, even though even though they were making a lot in revenue, they really didn't really believe in marketing. That's why I was the only one doing marketing there as a co-op. So I was really scared, but my freelancing and all the other things that I was doing on the side helped me a lot, because it was quite intense. Anyways, I worked hard. They were impressed by what I did, and basically after 4 months, the founders came to me and said, hey, we have an idea and we'd like you to be part of it. As in like doing the marketing for them, not be like a founder. But yeah, so I chose to focus my energy on this new idea that they had, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. We were sitting around at a table trying to figure out prices and how the app would actually work. I've never done an app before. I have no clue, right? So yeah, we just kind of did that, and then next thing I know, the next co-op is also with them, and then we keep doing this app, and then I do another co-op with them. And one thing that I would say here is, when I rejoined after the first, second, and third co-op, every time it felt like I lost, like I had to prove myself again to them and to also others that were new. And that kind of took my spot, right? So if you really want to also grow within an organization, I would say, and you're thinking of doing co-ops, and you're returning to school and are returning back to the same company, definitely try to get a few hours a week at that particular company that you're trying to get into, for a second co-op, because if you keep your a foot in the door, you'll be able to have better opportunities after in that company, because you don't have to prove yourself again. When I joined for third co-op, There was things had changed because they made some revenue, they got some investors, they hired some people. So I came back. I was alone before with like 4 other people, the 2 founders and 2 random, and then I came back and there was a CEO, there was this and that, so I had to prove myself to them, and the founders kind of, well, obviously like, people forget what you worked on months ago, so yeah, I would say that's a good advice for sure. But anyways, prove myself again, and went up in the company because of that. And I like I said, I didn't know what I was doing, and that's okay. Nobody knows. You research a ton. You just try and accomplish it. You try your best and see what works. You learn from your mistakes. And working in a startup is completely different because every decision that you make has an impact on the company's performance. So, and it can be for better or for the worse, right? So you can be yelled at, or you can be like, people can praise you, but that's pretty much working at a startup. And I think there's a lot of opportunities going in a startup and learning from a startup. So I'll explain a little bit about that, because I think it's important to mention how the startup world kind of works and what opportunities you can get from that. But yeah, anyways, you can get into any really company and get other experience on the side, but startup does give you a lot more experience than a lot of businesses because you're involved in so many things at the same time. And then the things I've learned over the years, from the stage of the idea to launching the new product and then selling it to big corporations like Pizza Hut, Unilever, whatever, and finally being acquired, was insane. Like, I could have never gotten that from anywhere else, right? Like, if I would join the government, for example, tomorrow, I would have my position only. I'm not really involved in any other projects that are going on, right? It's only whatever you're working on right now. And that's kind of the unfortunate things about these big companies, is that they have the people and the resources to assign different projects to everyone, so that you don't need to go elsewhere to do stuff that you've never done before, because they want quality. But again, you can't really learn as much if you're not involved in everything at the same time. So that's why startups is so good, because you're able to. And these things, they happen all the time, where they assign projects to you and you don't know what you're doing, or things come up and you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know, like your app doesn't get launched into the Apple Store because Apple Store refused your app for some reason. You need to find out why that is, and the founders are pushing you. They're like, they want their app on the Apple Store, right? But you don't. There's something that was wrong in your marketing or whatever. You put too much tax or whatever, and it refused the app launch because of that. So you learn from that. Now I can go to another business whenever I advise them on Apple Store launches or whatever. I know that I can't do this or that because the first time on my startup it didn't work. Right? So you learn from these mistakes. It's very good. That's why I'm saying try new things all the time. And working at a startup also it's a lot of work. Like, when we're talking about growing your career, there's no really shortcut, right? You need to work for it. If you're here, at 7 p.m. watching this webinar, you're probably a person that can do that. So I would definitely do it and work hard and try to acquire skills and whatever, to make it happen. But you can't really go to work from 9 to 4 and then chill for the rest of the day and then restart and just like have your social life, whatever. I'm super into that, but you need to assign a few hours here and there to try and acquire new skills and whatever, if you really want to move up in companies and maybe create a company at some point, right? So yeah, after, basically it just brought me a lot of opportunities. in terms of experience, but also in my career in general. Like after the third co-op, the founders sat me down and basically said to me, I don't want you to return to school. And I said, what? I did go back to school because I didn't want to make that happen, but I did go back to school part-time. So I saw the opportunity to move up in the organization and I stayed. And that's kind of when I told you guys about staying in the company for the longest time as possible, even if it's a few hours a week, it's worth it because next thing I know, I was there for so long in a row that I became a manager and then started to manage all these people, up to 20 people at one point, and I was just a student and they were all 40-year-olds. It was very, very strange, but the founder really believed, I guess, in me, and that really brought me a lot of opportunities. So definitely get some people supporting you in the back for sure, but you need to kind of fake it until you make it. That's kind of what I did because I had no idea. I never managed people. I never fired people or hired people, right? You just learn how to do it, and you fake it until you make it, and you learn from your mistakes. So try new things, work hard, and never stop learning from what worked and what didn't, and you will I guarantee you will make it in life if you continue like that. Now let's talk about a bit of my startup company. So like I told you guys, I never really stopped doing consulting work on the side, improving my skills. At one point there was just too much work for me to do my job plus consulting plus studying. So I was like, okay, how can I kind of grow my consulting side if I don't really have the time for it? And there was a buddy of mine that I met at university. His name is Paul, and he came back from Australia from an exchange, and he asked me if I knew anyone that could potentially give him a job or give him a chance. He was in marketing. And I said, you know what, Paul, let's meet. So I didn't know what I was about to do, but I was like, okay, I have too much work on my hands. Let's see where this meeting goes. I need help. So let's see. So anyways, I asked him for a few hours a week for extra money while he's trying to find a full-time job. And when he started taking work off of my hands, I saw that there were more and more people that were interested in my services because I had suddenly more time. So yeah, that was November 2019, and I decided to take a risk and hire Paul full-time because and make it a business because I saw that there was an opportunity there with more clients coming, and that's why I hired Paul full-time without even having the revenue to hire full-time, because I knew that I needed help. And he had stayed with me for 2 months now, and I liked the way he worked and whatever, and I knew that he was gonna find a job if he kept looking for one full-time. And you can't ask someone to work 10 hours a week, for example, and that's it, right? Until you have more revenue you can hire full-time. You can't really do that, so you got to take risks sometimes. And I took a risk. I hired Paul full-time. And then while we were discussing that in class, because that was during school too, another friend of ours heard about it and said, you know what, guys, I want to join. Is there something I can do to join? His name is Max. And so I said, you know what, Max, I'm going to pay you a few hours too, and we'll do this together. I'm a big believer that, I'm not the smartest in the room. I think everyone has their skills, and everyone can bring something to the table. So the more the merrier, as long as you work hard for it. So that's kind of my philosophy, and that's why I kind of chose to take that risk and pay people to kind of get together and make this a business. So Max was had his full-time job, he would just join us after his full-time job. I had my school, I had my full-time job too, and Paul was just working full-time. And that was until summer 2020. And then I started being more serious on my business. I wanted to. We just had like a few clients here and there, nothing serious. But I knew that I was working so hard at other things in my life and not my business that I was like, what if I put all this effort into my business? Like, what would happen? Would it actually grow a lot bigger? And I thought so, because I was putting so much effort. So in August, when I became part-time for my job, because I asked for part-time, we started doing sales, we started doing lead generation, because I was part-time and I was paying employees on the side. I couldn't let that happen without clients, so we started doing hardcore sales. We got our first big client that didn't come from referrals in September, and then that's kind of when I took the decision to quit my full-time job, because I knew that we were going to be able to, if we put more effort into it, to be successful, I guess. And that's the risk I took. And being an entrepreneur is incredibly difficult, and I say that, I guess, in the best way. I just really want you guys to know what it's like being an entrepreneur, because I know that we're all in business school, whatever, and we're talking about building a business, but it is difficult, and you need to have the drive to make it happen and to work on it hardcore. Like, there's no at first, when I first quit my job, I thought, I'm probably gonna work like 9 to 5, because I'm working full-time now on this, and then be okay with it, maybe a few hours at night, whatever. But it's not like that. You need to make a lot of sacrifices. You need to risk money, time, whatever. You don't have the chance to go as much, doing social events and whatever. It's just what it is. But you kind of go through it, and you try your best, and then at some point, if you put effort into it, you will succeed. I am a strong believer in that. But it's important for you guys to know that that's the reality of building a business. And if you don't have the right foundation too, if you don't do, for example, like what I just told you guys in the presentation, like do free stuff, or get some experience somehow, doing consulting or sending businesses some free stuff, I don't know. But if you don't have the experience and you don't build your connections as you go through it, then it will be even more difficult to be an entrepreneur and be successful, right? Because you need that kind of foundation. So what I would say is definitely start getting experience here and there, go in organizations, build connections. A lot of my coworkers that I worked with referred other businesses to me after I quit, and other colleagues as well that I had over this journey. Some people that I did free graphic design for referred business to me. So it definitely helped in that way too. It's not just for experience. So I would totally get into it to try and get those connections, try and get that experience. And then I would say, let's go all in and do it if you want to do it. But that's kind of my go on it. And I wrote here the question I asked myself: what if I put the same effort into my business? What would happen? I think it's a really good question that you need to ask yourself. If you're putting a lot of effort into something and you're trying to start a business, and you're not sure if you're the right person for that, just ask yourself, am I going to be able to put the same effort into this business or more, and then it being successful? If yes, then you are probably the right person for this. If not, then maybe you need to work a little bit more before you make that big shift, because it's going to be even harder than what you're doing right now. So that's definitely, I think, a good question to ask yourself. Now, in terms of next steps, so get practical experience on your own. for free, whatever. Do something, consulting when you start having some skills that people don't have. Watch videos of experts. A couple that I watch often is Neil Patel, Brian Dean from Backlinko for SEO, Gary Vee. Gary Vee is very common, very common videos, I guess, for the business world, because he's just very inspiring. And then, yeah, like, watch videos around the stuff that you want to learn about, and find out what you like, what you don't like, and then, you know, you can even get a mentor. A lot of people are willing to help you. Like you would be surprised how high level people can help you. I asked the ex-CMO of Unilever to literally be my mentor, and she said yes. So it definitely helped me a lot, and I think that a lot of people could benefit from a mentor. So definitely seek out to those professionals that you look up to and ask them are you available for 1 hour a month for something to mentor me on those business decisions and whatever. And it helps a lot because they have a lot of experience in that. So yeah, I would say get that. I use LinkedIn a lot. I said connect with people, right, throughout your experience. So that also means stay in touch with them. So just connecting with every single person you meet on LinkedIn is important for the future. And then I would say that's for debate, but I would say stop really putting, you know, students in your LinkedIn headline or whatever, because, you know, you just need to think about what you want to do. What do you want to become? And then put that as a headline and try your best to get experience contacting people to see like if you can do something. But as soon as you put, you know, just student or whatever, it means like you're not confident in yourself, in your abilities to do whatever you want to do. That's my philosophy on it. I think you should put, you know, a different headline just to push yourself and also to tell people like, this is what I do, and I'm confident that I can do it well for you. And that's how you're gonna get that job. Now, I'm not saying when I hire people, I look at LinkedIn headlines, I'm saying, oh, it has student, whatever. No, that's not true. I'm just saying, like, from my experience, I think you should definitely like have your profile a little bit more confident and out there. So yeah, that's basically in terms of next steps what you should do, both on the business side, like if you want to start a business, and if you want to grow, just if you don't want to start a business but grow your marketing career, that both of them, like all these steps really apply, because at the end of the day, if you get more experience, you impress more people, and then either you build a successful business out of it or you grow within the organization. And then yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope I covered a lot. I know there were some questions. I hope I did answer them all. I think there was one about the skills for a digital marketer that would be important. And I would say I often see students talk about, you know, I want to be in strategy. I want to be in strategy. I want to be in strategy. Strategy is something you get into a little bit further down the line, because you need to be able to really put a good strategy together. For an organization, you kind of need to have that experience in the different fields that you want to do a strategy for. So for digital marketing, for example, you're not going to start with strategy. A good chance will be you're probably going to start on the technical side. So doing PPC, doing Facebook ads, whatever it is, social media, but you're going to be on the technical side at first. And then after that, as you grow in the company, you're probably going to go towards the strategy side. So right now, for example, for me, that's why I do consulting on the side. I'm mostly technical because I do a lot of strategy things on my company, and I kind of stop those technical stuff And yeah, I guess that's why I'm doing consulting on the side, to keep learning those technical skills so that my strategy becomes better. But you can't really skip all those steps and go directly to that strategy skill, I guess, or service, if you know what I mean. So I would say that's the technical skills are probably the best to learn if you want a good job, like not a good job, but a job faster than others who are focusing more on the strategy side, because people are looking for people who can actually do the things that they want to do, right? So yeah, that's about it. Is there a